Welcome back to the Metal Lounge. My favourite band in the whole world, Deftones, just released their first album in 5 years, Private Music. Let's get into it.
You've listened to the whole thing.
I loved it. No, honestly, I absolutely loved it. Obviously, I'm going to be a bit biased. They are my favourite band.
They can do no wrong.
They can do no wrong in my eyes. My first initial reaction was, terrible name, Private Music, but sick artwork.
It's very sick artwork.
Very cool artwork.
Yeah, I thought Private Music was going to be like the EP name or something. Maybe 3 tracks or something. I didn't expect it to be.
I thought, because I saw them in London and they had a banner saying Private Music, and I thought, are they dropping a record label? What's this? This can't be an album name, surely. Private Music
makes me think that it would be an album of unreleased tracks.
Well, I think it actually stems from an interview I saw. Is they had a folder on the Deftones Mac or computer, and it just said Private Music, and then it just kind of stuck. I don't love it. I've got to say, it's probably my least favourite Deftones album name.
It's not memorable. Not memorable.
It's not. It's a bit vanilla for Deftones. But yeah, the album art's sick. We're back with Nick. I forgot. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Nick Raskulinecz. What a fucking baller. So this guy produced my favourite Deftones album, Koi, and it's his first time back since 2012. And coincidentally, I do think it's the best album since Koi No You Can't.
Damn.
I think it's better than Gore. I think Ohms, I loved when I first heard it, but over time, I haven't gone back to it as much. I mean, how long did the album release? A week ago. So obviously, I'm on a bit of a Private Music hype right now, but it's got that big vibey production. Chino's voice sounds incredible. My initial thoughts is I love it. I know a good album is when I save more than 3 songs. I save 5 or 6 songs that were these are 5-star and a heart, as we used to say.
Yeah, we used to rate them on iTunes, so it'd be
iTunes,
you'd get 5 stars and you get an optional heart that you can also add.
I missed that. Spotify, bring that back, please. That's where Spotify used to do it at one point.
There was a hidden feature, I think, on desktop Spotify where you could do it potentially, but
please.
So I have to use some other software
I'm
to do it.
begging you.
It's so important to me to do that. I love categorizing.
You've driven me and Alan crazy, Spotify. And iTunes got rid of it.
Did they actually get rid of it?
I don't know. I'm chatting.
It was really easy to do on Apple Music for a while, and then they got rid of it, and that made it really annoying because then you had to go through a setting somewhere to do it.
I'm pretty sure that's why I never got Apple Music, because I was like, well, I'm not going to fucking get it if I can't rate songs properly.
App Store and
everything. Are you on
both? No, I'm only on Spotify now.
Did you used to be on both?
Used to be on
both.
What a
mess.
No,
I'm glad you've turned to Spotify. It is the better one.
I did try both for a while.
I do there's one feature in Apple Music that it shows the most popular songs from first to last.
Yeah, that annoys me. So Spotify, you get their top tracks, but that's just horse. It's not their top tracks.
Well, I think it's their top tracks within a certain time frame. I think it's monthly top tracks. So it's not all time top tracks, but you can see the total stream, so you can tell which is the most streamed.
Yeah, but only on desktop, not on mobile. You get none of those stats on mobile.
Yeah, you do, but only in the top 5 or top 10.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We're working on it, Spotify, but please bring back the liking system because...
I want to go into my favourite album and look at the fucking listens.
I want to give it a heart.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, back to Private Music. So yeah, initial thoughts, I fucking loved it. The standout tracks to me were obviously the single My Mind Is a Mountain, Lock Club, Ecdysis, CXZ, and Cut Hands. I think it's quite, how would you say, top heavy. Initial thoughts, the beginning of the album, I appreciated and liked a lot more than the end of the album personally. What did you think?
I didn't give a lot of time to it, unfortunately, but I loved the 2 singles, and I remember loving Infinite Source. I would agree, top heavy, definitely. But I'm glad that they carried on with their sound. It's not I wasn't a big fan of Gore personally.
That gets a lot of hate. I think it is probably one of their worst albums, but I do think it's still a decent album.
I don't know why I don't like it. Ohms was a bit better, and this is going back to where I want Deftones to sound.
I think this actually, songwriting wise, it sounds like a continuation of Ohms for me. Just atmosphere and vibe that they got into with Ohms, and I feel like they've perfected it with this album. It seems like a continuation songwriting wise, and I'm so happy that they've gone back to Nick because that is he did Diamond Eyes as well, Nick. So we're back with Nick, but with a continuation of Ohms. They're not trying to go back to their older self. They're making this new sound, but they're still playing to their strengths. Deftones are definitely one of those bands. Their music is often, it grows on you, and it evolves quite a lot over time. So it'll be interesting to see how this stands, because I loved Ohms. I thought Ohms would be one of my favourite Deftones albums of all time when I first heard it. I was, very excited, but be interesting to see if the hype, the love that I'm feeling for this album carries on.
I think Deftones are getting new fans though, at least on Instagram, probably on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but like it's getting used as like TikTok tracks, like backing tracks. Like whenever there's something epic, they have an eagle catching a salmon that's flying out of the water. They'll have like Entombed while like it's in slow motion. Or like Cherry Waves is like a popular one for like just audio on those ones.
It was amazing how young the crowd were when I saw them in London. Like, it was crazy.
Well, I know someone's siblings have got tickets to, like younger siblings have got tickets to go see them in London early next year. And I was like, they're like 17. Like, I can't believe like they're going to see Deftones.
It's really impressive. They're having this lease of life, and I think it's just a testament to their quality. If you look at the other new metal bands, none of them have gained anywhere near the consistency Deftones have. Like, they've all had a dud album, or they've just stopped releasing music like System of a Down.
I don't know why they're attracting younger fans. I like that they are, but
I think it's like their sound is just so unique, and it's a bit first trappy as well. Like, it kind of, it's like moany and kind of ethereal. Yeah. And I think that like young people, that they like discovering older music in a way. It's kind of, it's almost like secondhand nostalgia. True. It's like they want to get into something like older and
good point on that.
And bands aren't as big as they like, new bands aren't as big as the old bands. So it's kind of like people want to be a part of something that's already popular.
Oh, you're right about secondhand nostalgia, because they do kind of have that feeling. And they're also not too polarizing. They don't, like, a lot of like kids are now dressing like old 90s skater kids with like skater shoes, kind of heavy torn jeans. Chino does that. They're kind of like elder. They've always dressed like kind of parallel to sort of like emo skater
They've always
kids.
Stuck to their 2000s vibe, and it's like they've become cool again just for doing what they normally do. Like, they come from that skate culture. Yeah. And they've definitely got that attitude at least. But isn't it crazy? They're like 50-year-old men and they're still fucking killing it. And Chino's vocals, like, they still sound incredible on this album. And if
I sang one song like him, I'd never be able to talk again. Like, the way he shrieks, there's just no way.
I just want to go through each track and just dive in a little bit. So we'll start with My Mind Is a Mountain. So that, I know that's a track you've heard. What did you think of that?
Yeah, so that one actually reminded me a lot of Poltergeist from Koino Yokan. I don't know why. It was like there was like a pulsing sort of rhythm to it that was exactly the same. And I was so pleased, because I was like, this is exactly what I wanted, and it sounded so much like some of my favourite tracks from them. So
Poltergeist is probably my favourite from Koi. It gave me Koi vibes in general. One of my favourite things about Deftones is those transitions. There may be some sections you like more than others, but the transitions into the sections are so smooth, and you're always accepting of where the song's going. It's like what you said in Sleep Token. It's like, I trust them as songwriters and what they're going to do next. And it's like listening to a Deftones song for the first time it is a journey, because it's like, this could go so many different directions, and they always choose the right one in my mind. And My Mind Is a Mountain, like, I think it's an instant classic for me. I think there's just something about it, I can't even intellectualize what it is. It's just a classic. It's a banger.
It's well written. Yeah, you're right about, there's nothing jarring about them leading you into another section, because you know that it's going to be melodically apt to what just came before. It's always a good choice.
That snare in My Mind Is a Mountain is fucking ridiculous as well, isn't it?
They always have a good snare.
I love it when he says radar. But it's not like it's like an electronic snare. I think it's Frank on the snare, the synth guy.
Is it?
Yeah,
Frank on the snare. It might have just been bust. Like, or trigger. It might have like a trigger with something.
Oh yeah. I think it's probably a trigger, actually.
It's probably a bus.
Yeah, it's probably Abe. Still.
It was a bus.
All right, so track number 2, Locked Club. The first song and now the second song, they come in hard. Like, there's no fucking about with intros and like easing you in. It comes straight into like a really interesting groove in Lock Club. It's something I haven't heard too many times from Deftones. It's very artistic, quite experimental, and it's really tense with the guitars. I love how guitar forward this song is. And then it opens up into this ethereal section. It's the first time you go deep into that ethereal sort of ecstasy Deftones moment, and the one in Lock Club does stand out. It doesn't overcomplicate things. It's quite a simple track compared to some of the others. Chino sounds locked in for sure, like when he goes into that ethereal section. It's I really like Lock Club. It was definitely one of the standouts for me. So Ecdysis, track number 3, again, it takes you to that ethereal Deftones place. This is a perfect Deftones song for me. It's pitched perfectly between the heavy and the light. It's not a light song, it's not a heavy song, but it's somewhere in between, and it goes to both places. It is one that's going to age like fine wine, like it's going to have good replayability. It wowed me because I love Deftones, but it's not like a standout track necessarily. My favourite section is with the lyric, a symbol of our plague, and then he goes to the dark, shakes our bones awake. It's top tier, world class Deftones moment. Like, because often Deftones will have light and dark sections, but that's a light and a dark section all in one. Yeah, this bit is sick. Of our plague.
God,
so
this is
good.
Yeah. So much groove as well.
Yeah, those bends. I think that's where they've gone right, Deftones, is like the majority of Deftones' best work is when Steph is allowed to be at the front of the band and drive the melody. And because Chino is a floater, he floats and he grooves wherever. But I think him and the synergy between him and Steph, I see them as both as important as each other, really, like melodically. Like, obviously Chino's the star, but like, if you didn't have those guitars and the way those guitars, the characteristics of those guitars are Deftones, like everything else are pieces of the puzzle, but it's like they're like the edge pieces. Chino and Steph, they like, without them you wouldn't have that. They embody Deftones for me. The drums are almost just complement everything. The synths add atmosphere. The bass, I mean, when she was still alive, it had a lot of character, but I feel like no one's wanted to kind of take Chi's essence from the band, so they're almost kind of like supporting Steph and doing what Chi would think. Drums kind of complement everything. Chino floats and he multiplies everything, but Steph is very brazen with his guitar. Like, he's allowed to, well, I think Deftones sounds best when he's allowed to be at the forefront.
Is allowed they let him.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like an artistic choice, isn't it? It's because it's like everyone wants to be at the front of things, and I can just tell by the way the songs are written, like how important is that the bend in that particular section, and like the way the song starts in Lock Club, the way My Mind Is a Mountain starts, the da 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 ba, brr, like, and then you can tell the synths, the way it's structured. It's like the guitar has kind of been prioritized.
Definitely cuts through. That's always been like with Deftones. It either cuts through or it's kind of like a river. Like it's very like blankety and smooth in the softer parts. It's cliche to say, oh, they're the foundation or the backbone, but like I liked the drums in Deftones before I liked the vocals. I originally didn't like Deftones because I didn't like how swamped in effects Chino's vocals were. Yeah, I don't know. The drums are like they're dripping in style. There's polyrhythms. Digital Bath is one of the best like drum
epic
tracks. I mean, it's so clean.
Every sound man plays that song, I swear. Every festival, at Drum Tech.
Yeah,
that's like a drum tech's anthem. Is Digital Bath.
It's just such a clean drum take. And it's recorded so beautifully.
No, you're right, but I feel like in other bands, and just by A's personality, you can tell he's not like a commanding personality, and you can tell that the band have opened up about the creative differences, and Abe knows his lane, and I think that's what makes the drums so good, is you don't, unless you're paying attention to them, they don't kind of steal the show in a way. They're very, like, especially for a metal band, and I know Deftones aren't, they are more rocky shoegaze in places, but I just think they're very complimentary, and I love that I can tune in and out of them in a way. They definitely get chances to shine, but Abe just knows his lane. He knows what sounds good and what doesn't, and he's always like just making the right choices. And I feel like there is a little bit of a surrender in a way, where he's like, you guys, like, you know, it's all about you, Chino. Steph, you have your way. I'll just do what suits the song. You never really get too many pokey parts or showing off or bravado. It's just very tasteful.
If it's all of his like input, because I'm sure like they're all pretty talented, like they would be advising each other like, oh, try this, or try that. It would be a case where they share ideas, and if they want the bass to do certain things, even if it is impressive, like it's not going to be like they're giving him this opportunity to be the star. It's just that's what the song requires. They're a unit, they're a band.
That's true.
So the only thing I don't agree with is him like being allowed to like step in the light and be the star, it's not. They're a band and they want a song to sound good, and if it suits having a ridiculous bass part in it, then the group would want that.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose I'm just sort of speculating really of how I imagine what happens. It's probably quite far from the truth.
Hearsay.
Yeah. But that's just how it sounds. I do feel like just from how Steph is as a person and how his parts come across.
Fair. Yeah.
I reckon you can tell he wants his own way, and like you can just tell it's a commanding guitar all the time. It's always in your face. It's always, loud and heavy and ruckus. Whereas other bands, the guitar is a bit more in the background, a bit more complimentary. They let the drums do more of the work. And
they're definitely a guitarist band. The guitars are they're a big part of it. They probably inspired a lot of guitarists to start playing as well.
Myself included. On to Souvenir. So this one had a really, like we were saying before, it had a nostalgic vibe to it in a way. I don't know, Deftones just unlocked this sort of mood that just sounds nostalgic to me. It's actually quite similar to Ecdysis. I can see why it was put in the set list there, because it's in the album order, sorry. It flows quite nicely because it's another song that has some gritty moments, but it's still more of a softer song than a heavy song, I would say. The bridge towards the end is a standout for me. It's really powerful, gets you to that ethereal Deftones moment. But yeah, not quite as strong as Ecdysis, but still brilliant song. One of my favourites for sure. On to CXZ. So the first run through of this album, which wasn't long ago, but this was a standout for me. I love this song, and it's mainly for the dissonant guitar in it. It's so ridiculous. You would not be allowed to have guitar this dissonant in just like a modern metal band, really.
Wouldn't be allowed it on a plane.
You would not in my day.
They wouldn't let you board with that.
It's fucking ridiculously dissonant, and then Chino mirrors that dissonance with his vocals. He goes, one is up, one is down. It really reminds me of a song from Ohms. I forgot what it's called, where Chino's going, where's the ledge? I can't touch it, but I feel it so close. And it's really dissonant and evil and eerie. Yeah, even though as a song, it's not the catchiest, it's more like an artistic expression, and it's a continuation from Ohms, but still staying true to what Deftones do. Probably my favourite non-single track so far, but Ecdysis is not far behind, and I think Ecdysis will have a longer lease of life in my replayability of the album. That was a standout for me when I first heard it. I was like, oh, this is a good one.
And that's 4 tracks in, so you were gearing yourself up for more of that. Five tracks in.
5 tracks in, yeah. 5. So number 6, I think about you all the time. So this is the first kind of proper soft song. The other songs have soft moments, but this one is this. They go to sort of beauty school sex tape levels almost. I didn't think it was as strong as some of the other soft Deftones songs. It's not one I saved, but I think in the album order, it's a real nice breather, because every song before then is just so in your face, especially after CXZ. They do hit that atmospheric soft vibe, but not quite as well as some of the other ones. Who knows? It might be more of a grower. So number 7, Milk of Madonna. You know what? I didn't like this song anywhere near as much as the lead single. I don't know why. It doesn't sound like much of a... It doesn't sound like a single track for me. It sounds more of an album track. It has that dissonant guitar again, and I think they do it better in CXZ. But I get why this was a single in a way, because it has a very Pumpkins moment, actually. It sounds very Smashing Pumpkins.
It wasn't even super Deftones when I first heard it. I was like, this sounds... It felt massively throwback. I don't want to say dad rock, but it kind of had those early 90s vibes that...
Yeah. Yeah, just how dissonant it's allowed to go. I'm a sucker for any dissonant guitar, and it just comes in straight out the gate. And that's a theme with this album. They don't fuck about. They're not They're not there to lead you in with some epic intro and waste your time. They're like, this is the vibe, and you're straight there. And I
not
love
here to
that.
fuck spiders.
No. Some cool guitars and vocals. The middle 8 section is probably my favourite, where he says, display of tongues of fire against the night. That is like a proper journey up to that point. And when it gets to that point, I'm like, oh, okay, like I kind of get it. I think this one's going to be a grower for me. I think I was just so blown away by My Mind Is a Mountain. It was a little bit of it was underwhelming compared to My Mind Is a Mountain.
It was a different flavour. I listened to both equal amounts of times. I listened to the singles a lot, and I need to go through the album, but it was a Neapolitan.
So Cut Hands. This song comes in so fucking hard. For a band of 50-year-olds as well, like, it's just ridiculously hard. Like, it doesn't actually make sense. Chino has never sounded like as angsty as he does on this song. Like, the production is next level. I love the bendy guitars. Like, he's going hard on the bends, and I'm just a sucker for a Steph bend. And the transition from the heavy part to the more Deftonesy Ecdysis part is phenomenal. It's pitched perfectly. This was definitely probably my second favourite of the album. Deftones are truly still at the top of their game. It's almost an embarrassment to other new metal bands that have just flopped in a way that Deftones haven't. They're still putting out their best work, like debatably one of their best albums ever. Like, it's impressive. It is very impressive.
Bit of a fake out with that time signature change.
Yeah. Metal Dream. So this one really stuck out to me. I'd say it's one of the most experimental songs on the album. It just feels different. The vocal effects Chino's using sound quite metallic and dreamy, hence the name. It's got a different flavour to the rest of the album, and it's really appreciated that they haven't just gone. It expands the album for me when I think through the track listing. There's a few that sound similar, but this one sounds completely different. That actually has grown on me more. I didn't really notice it on the first listen, but yeah, I really like it. And that leads me to the last song, Departing the Body. The song name is epic. I love that name. It sounds like a Loathe song almost. Even though Loathe are kind of copying Deftones. But I was really hyped to hear this song, and I was shocked when I heard the lowest voice Chino's done.
Really?
Yeah, he does a really low note. It's only for like a millisecond.
Singing or screaming?
Singing. He does like a low sing. It got me hyped for the song. But I've got to say, it didn't quite actually go where I wanted it to go. It didn't properly get going for me, this song. As the last song, and I love the album so much, this one was actually probably the most disappointing. It's a unique melody, and I'll give him credit for that, but it's not catchy or, it's not a banger.
It's like a ballad. I know you hate ballads.
They don't do ballads, Deftones. That's probably
I'm
why
thinking
I
it's
love
closing the album. I thought it might be a bit softer and a bit like...
No, it
longer,
has its
maybe.
heavy moments. I feel like that's part of what this album's about, is it's heavy and light together. It's kind of like greying the boundary, if that makes sense. Like, it's
a 6-minute song.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably a bit too long. Doesn't really land or get going. Probably my least favourite track, actually. I still liked it. There's one section where the melody just goes somewhere you're totally not expecting. That's my favourite bit, but it's not catchy. And I just think it's a bit too long. But again, I've only heard the album a few times. I've probably only heard this song a couple of times, so maybe it'll be a grower. That's my track rundown.
Like I said, I've only heard a couple of tracks, but like I'm desperate to sit down and listen to all of it.
So yeah, so overall, I think this is the best Deftones album they've released in 13 years, personally, in a baker's dozen years. And no surprise, it's by Nick Rumpelstiltskin, or however you say his name. The production is so good. I way prefer it to their last two albums' production, but it's still a continuation of their sound. It's artistic, it's experimental, but it's still staying true to what Deftones do. Crap album name, great artwork. I'm still in the hype of it, so I'm probably overhyping it.
Lost in the sauce.
a bit biased. Like, I'd probably say this about Ohms when I first heard that. So we'll see if it stands a test of time. But right now, it's coming for Thornhill for album of the year for me. It's I would say Thornhill is still number one though, because I've got to judge it from minutes listened. I can't just say, oh, I've heard Deftones album a few times. Thornhill I've probably played like 100 times nearly.
It's been out for months.
Yeah, exactly. So far, Thornhill is still ahead. who are a Deftones inspired band. So we'll see if it can overtake Thornhill. That's my thoughts. Really loved it. In the running for album of the year. So happy Deftones are back. I'll probably catch them in January. I just don't miss Deftones. I just couldn't afford to buy a ticket recently.
Yeah. I do want to go to that show.
Yeah, we should go, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, Deftonesly. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a like. Think about subscribing. Got lots of cool things coming up soon in the future. And we'll catch you in the next one.